usoro a na-eji eme ọjị o nwere ndị nwaanyị ebe anyị nọ ndị nwaanyị ebe anyị nọ bụ ndị ike ha na-ebunye ọjị abụnye Odenigbo one of
maka ọjị ka enye onye bịara nke mbụ nke a ka enye ndị bịara be anyị ofu ọjị ihe ọjị ihe gọvanọ anyị ofu ihe zee nke ọzọ ka anyị nwa ya na taa ụzọ adịọla anyị ị ga-enyekwanụ onye isi anyị okwu ọjị bụ onye si ka nga ọjị igwe osisi todo ị ga-enye ọjị osisi ntodo ihe ọjị biko maka obodo na-nkwanye nkwanye ekwukwala ya ka isi wetute ya na be anyị wee duru ya ebe anwa anyị nwabụ ndị Enugu steeti biko nye anyị ihe dị mma enwere ihe federal gọọmenti na-adị arụrụ anyị ha ruo ha gwasị na ihe awa ruru nwaanyị rukwere ji etubere ime na ọ bụ ihe ga-asa anyị na ihe arịa anyị aka.
State, please come forward and give us a welcome address. Honorable Commissioners.
Your Excellency, the Acting Governor of Enugu State, the Honorable Minister, Prime Minister of Information, the Right Honorable Speaker, Enugu State House of Assembly, our royal fathers, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of His Excellency, the Acting Governor of Enugu State, the government, the good people of Enugu State, I welcome all of you to this town hall meeting, which marks the end of the tour of Enugu State. In equal measure, I also apologize to our guests who have been here this morning. Thank you for this initiative, this well-conceived initiative. This is one thing that Nigerians have been craving for, a forum where we can discuss development. It's not about politics, it's about development, it's about our people. I want to thank the Honorable Minister because of the merits of this particular tour. It has afforded us the opportunity to highlight achievements of government, prospects, and then the challenges, both for the federal government and of course for the Enugu state government. The appeal I want to make to the Honorable Minister is that there is just the need to sustain this program. A program that will focus on development, a program that will be based on how to better the lives of our people. You will all agree with me that in 3 days of intense work, we have only scratched what the Enugu state government, under the leadership of His Excellency Sullivan Chime, has done in 5 years. For you to be able to cover 50% of our projects, Honorable Minister, you and your team will need to spend at least 6 months in Enugu. In just 3 days, we've been able to cover only very few. Yesterday we took them on Enugu Road, and the Honorable Minister couldn't really come to reality when we come out at the day in less than 25 minutes from the road. And then he was asking us about the Ebola from the Ebola from just down the road. Of course, we were at the stadium, the Forgy Stadium by Enugu State Government, for sports development. We were at the mall, we were at Zapata, we were just very few places. The Honorable Minister, the appeal I will make is that you will need to sustain this program. We want to thank in a special way His Excellency the Acting Governor, who has been part of this team. And what came out of this talk is the fact that in Enugu State we have a united, hard-working, and very unified team. That explains that everywhere we went to, all that the locals kept saying to our colleagues who came in from outside is that Enugu State is working. I would not want to preempt what the Honorable Minister will have to say or other members of the team. At this point, I will only say to the Honorable Minister that I'm happy to have you here and to my professional colleagues that this is also an opportunity for you to have seen Enugu. I want to believe that we have tried to be good hosts, and as we leave Enugu, all we can say is that please do come back again, either as individuals or as a team. We will always be willing to host you. On behalf of His Excellency the Acting Governor, and of course the good people of Enugu State, I thank you, Honorable Minister, for coming. Thank you.
Honorable Commissioner, thank you for welcoming us. He said Enugu is working, but we shall see. Abi? Alright, thank you. So, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, let us now take goodwill messages, and that is where we shall see whether Enugu is working or is not working. So, at this stage, I will invite the presence and distinguished ladies and gentlemen, for want of time, I want to stand on existing protocol. Indeed, the past 3 days, the Good Governance Tour team has been in Enugu State. It's been indeed encouraging, it's been revealing, it's been interesting, because we've taken the time to traverse the length and breadth of Enugu State, and we have seen things for ourselves. Before now, I have been in the state, and I have not really taken our time to appreciate the array of projects, developmental strides of the present administration in the state. But this Good Governance Tour has indeed afforded us that opportunity. And I want to indeed join the Honorable Commissioner for Information to say, indeed, Enugu is now working. Between Sunday and today, we visited a number of projects undertaken by the present administration. We visited the stadium where we are told the government is committed to grassroots sports development. It's of course the biggest, the largest in the country today. We also visited the Secretariat project, the ongoing project. Indeed, that project, which is said to be taking about 13-point-something billion, by the time it is completed, it is going to be a worthy initiative, and from what we are told, civil servants will now be moved to that place. I must say here that the Good Governance Tour team, we are happy to see that project, and we want to commend the state government for that worthy initiative. We also saw a number of road projects. We are told, and I am very much aware of that, that at the inception of the administration on board now, there was a monumental decay when you talk about road infrastructure. But today, by the time we visited all these projects, I can tell us that there is a massive turnaround when it comes to infrastructure. And across the states, we saw a whole lot of projects, especially within the Enugu metropolis, where we saw a whole lot of, in fact, transformation in the state. And we want to really, on behalf of the NUJ, commend the present administration, ably led by His Excellency Sullivan Iana Jochim, because these projects indeed they are making most of this kind in West Africa, and we want to commend federal government for that novel initiative.
And of course, we witness the transformation going on at the Academia International Airport. Indeed, a lot of things are equally happening there. Well, yesterday evening we were at Adani community in Ozowan, in local government. On a sad note, the federal government project that is going on there, the Adani rice farm, is not working. And I want to use this opportunity to call on the federal government through the Anambra-Imo River Basin Authority to ensure that something is happening there. Because we cannot take such a large expanse of land and allow it to be wasting there. We also saw the Adani Dam, which of course is dismal. Nothing is happening there. We want life to return to that area. Also in Adani, we saw the Songhai farm, which is of course a state government initiative. We are told that about 174 youths, graduate youths, were trained in the Republic, and they were supposed to have been dispatched to the farm there. But unfortunately, when we went there, we didn't see anybody. The farm is not working. The state government must have to go back to that place and make sure that that initiative doesn't just wear out. Among these, we also visited the Okonano Dam, which is a federal project. Today, we are told that by the time that project is completed, about 500,000 people will have uninterruptible access to potable water. The Anambra-Imo River Basin Authority Managing Director took us through that place, and he also expressed dismay that the fund has been their major challenge. The necessary funds are released to see through that project because it will really impact on the lives of the people of the state. All in all, I want to commend the Good Governance Tour initiative because it has given us opportunity to appreciate the efforts being made by the government of Enugu State and indeed the federal government in Enugu State. Before I drop the microphone, I want to also make this passionate appeal to the state government. My colleagues at the state newspaper Daily Star are complaining, and I want to plead with the Commissioner of Information to ensure that something is done to take care of the welfare of staffers of that establishment. On this note, I want to thank us for being part of this forum. Thank you, and God bless us.
Thank you very much, VP Southeast Zone, the NUJ, Mr. Priest. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we'll now take another goodwill message, and this time from Ratao. The Ratao president is being represented here by Mr. NGGTour, who is the deputy national president of Ratao, whom I now invite to please come and give us his own side of the story.
Thank you very much. Your Excellencies, standing on the existing protocol, I will not take much of your time because my colleague in NUJ has enumerated all the projects we visited and how we feel about them. If we are told in the last 6 years ago or 7 years that Enugu State is working, I believe Enugu State is working better now. All what I want to say is that the synergy between the state government and the federal government should be put in place, especially the Songhai farm, because that place can employ a lot of our youth, which we have put out of employment because of this cyclist in Enugu State. If we put that place in a proper perspective, I believe employment there will be more vigorous and people will be ready to work in that place. I equally want to thank this Good Governance Tour. I remember when we were in Abuja, there was a road we visited, and that place, there was a building that was standing against the road. And the journalists were asking, when will this building go for this road? And the executive secretary is or not. I can sincerely tell you now that the building is no more there because of the talk of the Google election. I want to thank you because when some of us were here some years back, we know how the roads in Enugu was. But right now, I think the roads are better and passable. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you very much, representative of the President of Ratau. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take one other goodwill message, and the goodwill message would be delivered by Ben TV. Alista Shoide is the owner of Ben TV UK, the only black television station in Europe. And he was also the former chairman of Nigerians in diaspora, whom I now have the singular honor and privilege of inviting him to please come and tell us what he's been able to see. He's been living in Europe. So what have you seen in Enugu?
Thank you very much, Mr. Peter. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. The High Table, WT Acting High Governor, Nigerian Minister of Information, Honorable Marco, and all cross-crew to be observed. Indeed, I have the privilege of being part of this tour, and I have learned quite a lot. I'm not speaking as a Nigerian from the diaspora. We always have our negative perception, first as a country, and second as people. Why? Because we believe nothing is working. So as a speaker, I'm speaking because this tour has actually opened up the window of a lot of opportunities in this country. Some of the speakers I've already mentioned, we saw them in left unchecked, and we believe that this is the time that the federal government should actually do something and turn around the fortune of this country. Based on over the last 2 days, my estimation is that the tour has actually opened up to show that there are a lot of billions of investment untouched, and if Nigeria actually rise up to the opportunity, the tour would bring in investment nothing less than 100 billion naira into the Nigerian government, into the state as well. We've seen the Innocent factory where quite a lot of profits have been made. We commend Enugu State, and actually the businessman there, the entrepreneur, indicated how much support he has been receiving from the state. But one thing as well is he has produced almost 10,000 people out of job who are now working under his company. Recommendation to you, state government, thank you very much for that. But as I say, ladies and gentlemen, this tour is something that has come out at the right time for Nigeria. Please, I would like you to appreciate the Minister of Information for this wonderful thing. As I said again, it's because Nigeria has a history. We'll be 100 years old next year, from 1940 to 2040. There's no better time for all Nigerians to know that something is available. We have a lot of opportunities. And Enugu has shown that things are working. At least the other people have said Enugu is changing. So congratulations to all of you. So on the last note, as a Nigerian who live in the diaspora, Honorable would like to see what more can be done. As we said, your tour has absolutely opened up the window to the Nigerian opportunity, to Nigerian investment, and more investment should come into Nigeria as you continue your tour. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you.
Thank you very much, Ben TV. At this stage, I would invite Morola Woods, the SA to Mr. President on documentation, to come and say a few words. Morola.
Good afternoon, everybody. Permit me to stay on existing protocols. I'm speaking as a member of the National Good Governance Tour team. It's the first time that I'm having this opportunity, so I hope I don't mess it up. It's also my first time in Enugu State, and I'm very grateful to the tour for allowing me that opportunity. And over the last 3 days, we've been going around this state, and we've been seeing projects, both state projects and federal government projects. And it's been very, very encouraging to visit places like the Polo Park Shopping Center, because it's a wonderful example of sustainability, for instance, and livability. A place where every member of society can go and there's something there for everybody. And so I would like to commend the Enugu State government for projects such as this. Some of my fellow speakers have touched on some of the federal government projects that we've already inspected, but perhaps I would like to touch on the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, where we saw a lot of projects that we couldn't even see all of them. There was a list as long as my arm of projects waiting to be commissioned, and which told their own very powerful story about the aggressive intervention really in the education sector in this country by the federal government. And the Honorable Minister of Information himself gave a testimony saying that he was last in that institution about 25 years ago, and he talked about how transformed everything was. And there are a lot of projects taking place there, TED Fund, IGR. The university has been able to actually generate its own internal revenues to be able to construct roads and basically improve the standards of the students, and which would contribute to the great leaders that we would have in this country in the future. So, having gone around in Enugu State, I'm confident that we have a lot to look forward to in this country. And the tour is meant to highlight challenges also. But I'm confident also that after this tour, even the challenges, we can face them with more presence of mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Essay to Mr. President on documentation. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would now invite the Honorable Minister of Information, Mr. Labaran Mapu, who will come forward and address us.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, my brother, the acting governor of Enugu State, Sunday Chidi Yebuchi. I have the Minister of Health of his name, so I'm very comfortable with it. My brother, the Speaker of Enugu State House of Assembly, other members of the House who are here, members of Enugu State Executive Council, Secretary to Enugu State Government, Special Advisor, Special Assistants to the Government of Enugu State, the Royal Highnesses, our traditional rulers, distinguished elders and daughters of Enugu State, the National President of NUJ and other members of the Good Governance Tour team, my colleagues from the media, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Enugu Kwen. Yeah. Enugu Kwen. Yeah. Enugu Kwen. Yeah. Kwen. Yeah. Kwen. Yeah. Let me, on behalf of His Excellency, Mr. President, Dr. Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, GCFR, and indeed, on behalf of all the 36 governors of this country, bring the good tidings of the National Good Governance Team in Enugu State. Thank you. We have been in Enugu for 3 days. We have gone around your state. We have visited projects, federal and state projects, We have discussed with your leaders at different levels. We have encountered your citizens also on the streets of Enugu, talking to them, discussing with them. We were in a primary school just before coming here, and we spoke with young school children concerning their future. We saw construction workers in different places, and we are now telling you that the National Good Governance Team can confirm that Enugu is not the same place that used to be before 1990. I'm fairly familiar with Enugu, and I used to come here when I was a program manager with the United States Agency for International Development before the advent of democracy in 1999. And Dr. Cecilia, who has the Education Development Center here in Enugu, we used to do projects with us who come here, go through most of these states, both rural and urban areas, to look at the projects in this state with non-governmental organizations. So I'm very familiar with Enugu. So in the last 2 days of our visitation, we have seen Enugu metropolis with roads that are different than the ones that used to be. And I want to thank the state government for the roads in Enugu metropolis. You still have challenges, but a lot of work has been done. A number of the critical roads in the metropolis have changed, and that is how it should be. Not because Enugu is more important than other parts of the state, but because when you develop the capital city, it also impacts positively on the rest of the state.
Thank you.
So I am happy to see the new roads that we have seen. I've also tried to drive at night, and I've seen quite a number of traffic lights working. It's very important for reduction of crimes, and also to make the city look like a place people can take walks in the city. You know, young people want to take a walk in the evening, even old people. We see that in Europe, we see that in Asia, and we should begin to see them outside Abuja, because Abuja alone can't be the model capital city. Each of the 36 state capitals should be a model city, so that Nigerians will begin to have a country that looks like the United States. You may wish to live in Washington or Atlanta or Los Angeles, but wherever you go, you can see that there are modern cities. And from what we are seeing gradually in some of our state capitals, and we'll be moving around from Umuahia to Owerri, to Awka, and now we are in Enugu. We are seeing that there is some evidence of progress, that we are addressing some of the city's problems, and it's very, very important for the overall transformation of the country. We also traveled outside Enugu. Yesterday we went to Nsukka, and we saw roads you are building linking Opi up to Nsukka. Now, those roads, particularly linking rural areas, are very strategic, because our country is still an agrarian nation, and most people who produce food live in the rural areas. So whereas we do everything we can for the state capitals, the artery roads leading to local governments and food production centers, we must continue to develop.
Thank you.
This is very, very important for the rural people, and also to kickstart the rural economy. Food production is very crucial. We are beginning to see that some effort has been made in that direction. Let me say that we also went to the teaching hospital today, and we saw new projects that are taking place in the hospital. You cannot invest too much in health, because people must be healthy for you to develop any state. And so we are happy to see that the state government is paying attention to health. I wish we had more opportunity to go to more general hospitals to see the situation and to advise the state government if we have advice. But definitely investment in health is critical. If people are not healthy, you cannot develop any economy. And Enugu state is a state where you must pay attention to health. We have not been able to see a lot of the schools, maybe because of time limits. But we went to Okno Street Primary School just before we came here, and we spoke with the children and the teachers. One thing we saw was that the school has been completely rehabilitated. It is looking quite different. The classrooms are looking good, and the environment is looking like a school that you should expect. And I'm more concerned about primary schools because that is the foundation. If you don't get primary schools right, you can never get education right at the national level. And the problem of our educational system today is the quality of people leaving primary and secondary schools. So everywhere we go, our advice to state governments have been, if a governor cannot give their state good primary education, then your mandate is not useful. Because those are the children, that's the future of Enugu state, that's the future of Nigeria. So attention should be paid much more to primary schools. And I believe that local government chairmen, who themselves are the ones that are the proprietors of primary schools, must work with state governments to give primary education a new boost. Many of us even here went to public primary schools. We didn't need to go to private schools. But today, we see they trying to take their children from public primary schools to private schools. It should not be the case. It should not be the case because we are beneficiaries of public education, and public education was school. So what we see today at primary school level is that we need more of the school infrastructure, more classrooms, better furniture for children to sit in class and learn. And this school that we saw today was quite a lot of good work. You know, the children are very, very stressed. And when we played with them and I finished, I was like, how's your primary school? It's looking very good. So they were very happy with Governor Suleiman and they prayed for him. Now, I asked them, what else will you need in your school? I said, please tell the governor to bring seats, bring tables and chairs for our teachers. So we didn't need to go into the classroom. It means that those have not been supplied. No children will not lie. They were very innocent. So I just told the acting governor, said, you see, your children have spoken. And he said, yes, we are presently supplying, making chairs, seats and desks for all schools in Enugu state, and work is in progress. And it's being done by a federal center here that produces school equipment. So they say the moment it is finished, they will be supplied. But our children have reminded us that they know these seats, they need those seats as quickly as you can get them to them. That will be very, very good. Now, today also, we were supposed to go to Okanano. Now, we couldn't reach there with the acting governor, but they did reach there. On our way, we saw two girls. You know, we stopped and we were waiting for the team to join us, and the police were chasing them away from us. I said, no, why are you dragging them? Let them come. Then we discussed with them, and we saw that the two of them happened to be the children of of the same family, and they were out of school. And we tried, one was 16 years and another one I think 14 or 15. And we asked why were they not in school. They said that we want to see more girls in school. More girls in school. And I can tell you several reasons. Once we educate girls, if we educate all Nigerian girls, the next generation will be educated because no mother will leave her child behind. Which is the truth. All girls in this country, the literacy level will quickly go up because mothers will ensure that their children in school and they will look after them. So the education of girls is very, very central to the overall development, educational development of the country. And there are other reasons. We went to Innocent Factory this evening, and we went to a section, an Innocent Technical, manufacturing plastics and other equipment. And when we went to two sections, we saw only girls working there. And we asked, why is it that in this section, you don't have men working here? he told us, look, each time we try to bring men to this place, they don't follow instructions. We will tell them that this machine, you need to work on it for 10-15 minutes before you bring out the product, and this is how you should mix it. But they will go into adventure and follow their own format. Our products are not coming out well. And we have tried girls, and we find that girls follow instruction dutifully to the end. And for this reason, he said in those two sections where fine products are made, only girls are employed here. Now, why I say this is because we are blessed in different ways. Women are blessed differently, men are blessed differently. But we need a combination of the two. Men are more adventurous. You can see they want to change the formula to create something different. And in the process, they tamper with the final product. And at the same time, the women will insist that what they have been instructed to do should be done to the letter. They are strict, they follow instruction, and they want the exact quality to come out. So you can see that if all of us, are together, working, men and women, you have better country, better results than you will have if only the men went to school. And I therefore believe that it's important that we work and ensure that all those girls get to school. Now, the big shopping mall here that you have built, there is nothing like this in Enugu at the moment. And understand that the center, the shopping malls are about the biggest in the country. Now, that for me shows the vision of the state government. And we're not waiting on this good governance to see what governments alone are doing. Governments can't develop a country. We can only provide the environment for citizens to express themselves. And the Igbos are a vigorous private sector people. All over the country, you are leading when it comes to private sector, it comes to commerce, it comes to production. And that is why we believe that every state government, particularly in the East here, must work hard to develop the private economy. The shopping malls here, as we come here, they look like the ones you see abroad. Yes. And the children cannot go here and play, go to the theater, buy things. That is how it works. And we expect that if this democracy lasts, maybe in another 10, 20 years, you will have more of those kind of markets than the local ones. And that is the advancement that we want to see all over the country. So we commend you for that initiative. And also for encouraging innocent manufacturing. Innocent Chukuma, and it's not the only one, there are so many industries we were not able to see, and I know there are so many. But when we went to Enugu and we saw this innocent vehicle manufacturing plant, and we saw that he was manufacturing cars, vehicles, buses, pickups, from the scratch to the finish. We were very proud. And we saw the quality of those vehicles. They were looking like any other one you bring from Japan or Germany or anywhere. Those buses are strong and good. Now, the president commissioned that factory. And immediately he commissioned, he went to Abuja and placed an order. Any government agency that wants to buy a vehicle in this country must first call Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing Company at Enugu. They must confirm that they don't have it before you can place order abroad. Otherwise, all of us must buy from there. Now, that is the encouragement that the president has brought on board. And when we went to Enugu, the army has placed order, head of service has placed order, NTA has placed order, and several federal agencies are now buying vehicles from here at Enugu because of the president's intervention. We also saw that Anambra State was buying virtually all their vehicles from here. Enugu, other states were urging that we should do so. We came to the factory here today and we saw virtually everything that you want. Ceilings, plumbing components, plastics, PVC pipes, everything you need is produced here in Enugu. Household items. So what we need in this country, what is the purpose of the good governance law? It's not just about what governments are doing. Is that we Nigerians must not be proud of our own brand. We must be proud of our brand. People will leave this thing here in Enugu and bring dustbin from Germany, from Britain, why do we do this? Because Innocent alone is employing 11,000 Nigerians directly. That is just his factory at Enugu and here at Enugu. So what we require therefore is that all of us must show a certain level of patriotism. We must be proud to buy things that are made in Aba, made in Enugu, made in Enugu, made in anywhere. The time is gone for an Igbo investor to come and create a product and put made in Taiwan because Nigerians don't want to buy their own. Put made in Nigeria, we must promote it and people will buy it. We are proud. So we want you to continue to encourage them. They told us how the state government has encouraged them, giving them free land for that factory and has continued to support them. The state governments are not sufficient. We as private citizens must give these people who are inventing things new products, give them our patronage and it will help the development of our country, create employment and so on. Now we have seen that Enugu has a plan for the transformation of the state and Governor Sullivan, although not here with us today, he has created camp. We've also seen that the security situation in Enugu has improved. We have seen many people coming for conferences. You know, as we entered the Nickel Lake Hotel, there are conferences, people come and go, which means that things are better than they used to be. So you need that environment of peace and security for development to take place. If you doubt it, go to Maiduguri and Damaturu. Now, you are laughing, but it's a very serious matter. It's a very, very serious problem. Now, one of the greatest problems our democracy has faced is that we Nigerians are not giving peace a chance. You can't develop a country until every citizen is serious about peace, about security. And this cannot be done by government alone. Government has limitations. How many policemen would we have to be able to man everywhere in Nigeria? But for Igbo land particularly, where you are now is that you are virtually, from the things I'm seeing around as I told the southeast, you are virtually at that point of take-off. Take-off commercially and industrially. And so what you need to transform this zone into our own South Korea, into our own Singapore, where you will manufacture things, build big markets and products, is to lower level of grants. And the state governments must invest and continue to coordinate with security agencies. Once you do that and you relax the situation and the environment, you will be shocked the speed with which the eastern part of the country will take off. Because you have the creativity and you are hardworking, you have a good work ethic. So we are saying so because for this country to develop, we must promote every part of the country and let their talents blossom. If their talents blossom and you work hard, the entire nation will benefit from it. So that is exactly what we require in this part of the country for things to work. Now, the federal government has been doing a lot of work here. And I've come here to tell you that the President Transformation Program is anchored on 3 major areas. The first is good governance. That's why we're undertaking this tour. And this tour has been made possible by Mr. President, the Federal Executive Council, all the 36 governors. We sat together, we worked on this program to make sure that our democracy, this democracy is not about politicians. It is about the people. It is about services. It is about development. So we have decided that rather than engage ourselves always about all the newspapers, television stations, reporting queries among big time politicians, let us come down below and look at what progress our country is making and hear from our citizens. And this tour is not partisan. We go to all states of the federation. So the good governance thing we are looking at is that our country has been governed badly for a long time. That's why we are behind. So we must govern our country in a different way. The institutions must work. So the president is emphasizing on good governance. We're already reforming the electoral system. In the future, if you don't win the election, you will never be declared a winner. You will never be declared, no matter which party you belong. You can see the elections are getting better now. We are reforming the electoral system so that Nigerians will have the right to vote those they want. And if they are not performing, you vote them out. That way you will have accountability. You will have one weak politician know that there is no way out, we must get the votes of the people who will be compelled to work for it. And that is the reason why the president is insisting on reforming the electoral system and getting all these institutions to work. If you look at Nigeria today, you no longer have a president that will come with a whip. When he's coming, people will run. Come with arrogance. No. Humility, focus. Humility, focus, deliberate planning. This is what we are doing through the transformation agenda. The second aspect is human capital development. We went to Nsukka. If you return to Nsukka today, you school there before, and most people who went there yesterday were lions. That is former students of Nsukka. They were all lions. Interestingly, I was the only human being yesterday. Everybody was a lion. So I was the only living kids outside the Lord yesterday became a lion. I said, well, at least I'm still a human being. But what I want to point out is that as we went to Nsukka, we saw streets being tarred. Streets, the old roads are being tarred. Virtually every hostel has been renovated. Every faculty building has been renovated. There are also national scholars' houses. There are people who are coming from abroad on sabbatical because they have a strong diaspora program. Will be staying. So we saw Nsukka recovery. And it's not only Nsukka, most universities. We are still far. And I can tell you the interventions we are making in colleges of education, in polytechnics, in the universities in the country is very, very vigorous. But we still have a lot to go. And we are calling on the private sector to support former students who have the means to support. We can never spend enough in education because those schools have been abandoned for a long time. The time has come for us to invest and regenerate our schools so that this country can have a great future. We have a very great future. Nigeria has a great future. We need to invest more in education. So the federal government is doing so. But supply books to all public primary schools in Nigeria. Primary school, mathematics, English, basic science, all of them have been supplied through the universal basic education. And we're investing in training new scholars all over the country. So but this have to work along with the state governments. Now, the other area that the president is concentrating on is infrastructure. When we went to Innocent today, he confessed that before now, when he started his factories at Enugu and Enugu, he used to have only 20% of power supply from PSN. But today, his power supply from PSN has gone to 80%. He confessed to us at Enugu and he confessed today again. Now this shows that there is already a marginal improvement, but that's not where we want to go. We are building 10 new power plants in the country now. We have been inspecting some of them if you saw on television. In Aba, we went to 2 power plants. In Imo, we went to the Bama power plant, and there are 10 of them. This year, by the grace of God, more than 70 to 80% of them will be commissioned, and Nigeria is going to have steadier power supply. So we are working hard to change transmission, to change to build new plants, and everything will be done to deliver on the present power projects. We have already restored railway services from Lagos to Kano. We are working hard to restore the one through Port Harcourt, Enugu up to Maiduguri. By the end of this year, the train will move again from Port Harcourt to Maiduguri. So, in other words, our interventions at the federal level are in all areas. But what we need in our democracy is that all of us must work together. All of us must work together. We must lower, Innocent Factory has said it. Any Nigerian that is in the business of making money abroad, that is terrible. If we can invest anything we have in this country, if all our people bring their money and invest in this country, where is Dubai? In a desert. How will people want to live in Enugu and build a house in Dubai? In a desert, very hot. But look at the beauty of this area. The weather is calm, the rainfall most part of the year. You have greenery all over the place, you don't need to worry about it. So let us work to develop our country by showing more patriotism. If we can show more patriotism with the elite, show more patriotism, utilize the opportunity God has given us to advance the development of the country, I am sure that if this democracy goes on in another 10, 15 years, you will never recognize this country. It is quite possible. It is possible, and we must work to ensure that it is possible. Finally, I will return back to the Enugu state government. The acting governor has been very, very useful, very, very good to us since we arrived. And he is very calm and very humble. We have worked with him in the last 2 days. He has gone to all the project sites, and even though the government is not here, Enugu is working without any. That is how it should be. That is how it should be. So we have seen that the state is working before the acting governor is on top of the agenda, getting this work, but see contractors aside working. And that is what we need. That is the new attitude and a change that should come into our democracy. So we commend him. So we commend Governor Sleva for his vision for Enugu and for the additional work he has done on this state since he came to power. Let me reassure you that as we work together at the federal level, state level, and local governments, we were not able to visit any of their projects. And that is the grassroots. But local governments must function. They must function, they must apply their own money to needs at the grassroots level. But as the 3 tiers of government continue to work together, I am sure this democracy will make Nigeria better. This country is different from what it was in 1999. It's quite different. And we want it to move faster. That's why we're on this good governance talk. So when you have suggestions, bring them. There's one suggestion I will give. Because I know that Igbos are very neat and clean people. Clean. I mean, anywhere you go to Igbo house, you are very clean people. But we have seen rubbish heaps in your cities. We are not happy about it. We notice them in Iwari, we notice them in Oka, and we have seen them in Enugu. Look, the first mark of seriousness is that we must clean our streets. We must clean our streets. We've seen a lot of rubbish, people throwing things around carelessly, and that is not good for people. When we go abroad, we don't see rubbish on the streets. Even in Calabar here, we went to Umuahia, there is no rubbish on the street. So we must clean up Enugu properly, so that the investors and other holiday makers who are not coming to Enugu because of the new facilities will also see a state that is clean and neat, and I know the Igbo people can do so. Please do so, and this is not just for government, but for us in our families, not throwing rubbish around, but making sure that we clean up our city and drop our rubbish properly. If that is done, Enugu with its scenic beauty, which is comparable only to Jos in Nigeria. Sure, I mean, very scenic beauty. And it's a well-planned city. So I think that you guys have a city, you have a state in progress, and although I was unable to visit my town, Marco, the next time I'm